Matt?
Yes, sir. You ready for me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, sir, my name is Matt Gillis with Welch Comer. I'm here I don't know if you've had an opportunity to read the letter that we wrote on your behalf regarding the Benewah Creek road safety audit. So if you have or haven't, I'm happy to go through it, but should I go through what the road safety audit was a little bit? Okay. So you got funded through the Local Highway Technical Assistance Council, LTAC, which is a state agency that funnels both state and federal money through our state.
Are you referring to this January 8th?
Yes, yes. To do a road safety audit on the Benewah, the entire length. And the intent of the audit is not to come up with the most expensive, out-of-reach projects only. One of the primary purposes is to kind of get the low-hanging fruit. How do we make it safer? Pavement markings, delineators, brush clearing, those types of things. Things that can be reached with easier than giant grants with federal money. So an audit team went out, and it's a diverse group. Yeah, there's engineers, but there's other people that look at it, the whole stretch as well over a couple of days. We take all that input and we formulate an audit, which is a recommendation of all the improvements, both from I'll call it the low-hanging fruit, and then the slightly more expensive projects that would typically require outside funding, federal, state funding. So then that audit goes to the commissioners, and then LTAC requires a response from Benewah County saying we understand the audit and we either agree with all of it, or we agree we'll do these, we will attempt to do those, and we just don't agree with these for whatever reason. I mean, sometimes it's budgetary. So the letter goes through that as Benewah County's answer to the audit. Some of the statements in the letter say things like, we'll address this in fiscal year 2020. We felt that the commission would take issue with that because it would tie your hands, so to speak, and commit you to doing an improvement when you say you would in this letter. LTAC said it is no commitment, we just want somewhat of a plan from Benewah County, a target. If they can't do it in 2020, for whatever reason, they'll attempt to do it in a subsequent year.
This is a response to the safety audit.
Correct.
But it's a work plan we're going to do, but there's no reimbursement involved, is there? So,
for the improvements?
yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Unless you go get a grant.
Yeah.
What happens with the projects that you find that we can't afford?
Well, there's several. So there's realignments. There's.
I understand that, but I mean, as far as the program goes, does that affect us getting the funds in the future?
The safety audit project doesn't. In fact, it will probably help you get. It doesn't affect you in a negative way. It will probably help you get funding in the future. For example, we did one of these for Bonner County. We identified a complicated trail and road crossing, and because it was a subject of their safety audit, that was a big help in getting them funding through a state grant. So if anything, it should help you get funding in the future. So would you like to go through the letter project by project, or have you had an opportunity to read it?
I've read it.
Okay. I'm happy
I
to.
also read the letter.
Okay. So I think the action that we would request is, if the commissioners agree with the letter, I think you just end up signing it and then sending it to LTAC, or give it to us and we'll do it for you. And then that would close out your road safety audit project.
first one, speed and ball bank.
Okay.
What does ball bank mean?
So, ball bank was an old way of, they would take a pendulum, and you drive the road at a certain speed, and the pendulum would swing back and forth as you went around corners.
Okay.
And so it'd be a function of the speed, the radius of the corner, and the super elevation of the road. And so that's a way for us to dial in what the super elevation should be, and more importantly, what the warning signs should be for the speed.
So this is something that would be, you expect us to do then?
This is one that is one of the lower hanging fruit, yeah.
And who has the equipment to do that then?
Your iPhone will do it nowadays.
Really?
Yeah.
If you have the right app on it?
If you have the right app, that's correct.
Now, does that have to be hooked up to GPS to do it? Because a lot of that area through there, you get on a steep hillside, you may not be able to get a signal for a little bit.
I don't know that it has to be on a, no, it's independent of GPS.
So on the bend, you've been up there a lot, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So on, at the end of the blacktop, up to the first bridge is one of our critical parts of the Benewah Road. Right there. That's too narrow and some spots that need to be widened. And then when you go on up, there's two road projects, and they were done, and you get up to the Bob Walker branch off to the left, and it, right from there up to Alder Creek Road, another segment. There's two segments, and the rest of that is a pretty darn good road, I mean, for safety wise.
Mhm.
But them are the two spots that are very dangerous.
Closer to Highway 5 than 95, right?
Like a culvert out, we look at those on a regular basis anyway.
Mhm.
You say culvert out, is that like,
Oh, sorry, which
someone,
one?
especially down there and crawling around culverts, it's on the second page. We've actually replaced quite a few culverts on the Benewah Road. And a lot of them are actually moved down.
I would have to understand a little better what the definition of a culvert audit
Yeah.
is. I mean, to me, an audit means it's an inventory of the length, type, and condition, and maybe the plan for improvement, which sounds like you may have, maybe in a less formal
Yeah.
format already. So maybe this is something that's ongoing.
Because on the past one with the hill, we put in, gosh, a bunch of culverts about the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And we replaced culverts on the west end of the road. So
Okay,
it's actually probably been
you're probably doing that already.
in place already.
Okay, well, we can adjust that. Are there any other changes or questions on the letter?
On the west end, there's two bridges there, and you know where they're at, on your end,
Roughly.
that we need to start looking at.
Are you thinking of the Sanders Road?
I'm thinking of the Sanders Road.
Yeah. It was on the west.
Yeah, I'm
end.
thinking of the Sanders
There was a
Road,
culvert
yeah.
washed out, we replaced that last year.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah.
from Sanders
Hmm.
to 95.
Yeah.
You probably know where they're at.
Yeah.
They're weak.
Any other questions regarding that audit? The audit's a little bit different process. I mean, it's not a normal project, and it's,
Who requires audit?
nobody requires it,
Right.
not required. This is a grant that you got
There's
through.
a bridge audit, but the state was at.
So I'm happy to adjust that one point, Chairman or Commissioner Lampert, and
Last page, it's solid deer,
Soldier.
soldier pile. Walls around the sage, everything.
Yeah.
That'd be on the same one there, milepost 1.4, 1.8, or.
Yeah, I think that's what Jack was mentioning, it's narrow and rough like that.
Yeah.
That's something I actually might be able to do.
They're gonna have to be shot to it, wouldn't it?
Big backhoe. Might be able to take that excess fill off of that and put it in the corner where the state owns. There's a corner there that state's a rock out of for years. Might be able to put that in that corner. It wouldn't be too long at all.
Not too close to the vertical.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
okay, thanks, man.
you're welcome, thank you.
You just approve this or anything?
If you'd like, I think so.
Okay.
I'm happy to make that one change, if you'd like me to.
Yeah.
Do that.
Alright.
Okay.
I think motion to approve and that's, the response.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We could go to public comment, we don't have anything till 9:30, so any public comment?
Yes. While my mind's fresh on the Welch Comer that you just discussed, I would like very much to request that you and Jack include a formal engineer audit on the drainage, especially the part that goes from Hill Estates up to Alder. As you know, a lot of that washed away because the drainage was insufficient.
From where to where?
Well, I haven't been up there since you put the road in, but I know that the drainage, the whole drainage system
Are
there,
you talking about the Benewah Road?
yeah, the part that's real steep that was supposed to be 2-lane, and now there's not places for both a fire truck and an egress car to pass, which was the purpose of it to be a safety exit for people in the Alder Creek area. So it's not, it's a narrow road, the part that I went up. I turned around and didn't want to go any further.
Is that right on the Benewah Road?
No, she's
I'm
talking
talking
about
about
up St. Mary's, that road that we opened up
Oh, okay.
out the
Yeah.
back way.
The one that Norm had to go up there and clean out the culverts by hand sometimes, because the whole road almost washed out. So I think that needs a real professional audit on the culvert system. That's just my opinion. You might consider that, you might be able to,
The first year, we put 20 some culverts in on that road.
Yeah, we did.
well, the way the road was engineered, it just didn't work. I don't know engineering.
We also had a catastrophic rain event that
Yes.
first year before the culverts were done. So they did the culvert.
Went the
Yes.
wrong way on us.
Yeah, and it just didn't work out. I don't know how
They fixed that
engineering
though,
works.
they fixed that piece.
So anyway, that's more than low-hanging fruit, that's probably quite expensive, you might want to include it, that's all. The other thing I came here for was, as a small farmer, I'm interested in what's going on with your natural resources. Will you continue this commission as a voluntary, or I hope you don't discontinue it, because I think the small farmer, and the large, of course, needs to be represented on that natural resource.
I'm a small farmer anymore.
I know you're not, but I am, and so are a lot of my friends. And the farm-to-table movement is really growing in this county, and I think it could bring some important
Actually,
money.
natural resource team.
Yes, it is possibly gonna be completely dissolved, but if it's gone,
Well, it's right now, may I talk, Jack?
Sure.
It's just in a, I guess, a hiatus state right now, because the
Yes.
people we had decided to resign
I understand that,
for various reasons.
yes,
And we haven't done any action on it since they resigned.
correct.
It was used more as a research tool for things that were affecting the county, such as US Forest Service stuff, not doing any timber cutting. We were real active during water adjudication, and probably the thing we'd be looking for outreach would better address through the county agent's office down below for the small farmers.
Well, the reason I brought it up as a small farmer is at one point, Farm Bureau was asked to be a part of that commission that has now been disbanded, resigned people. But my point is, please don't get rid of it. Our county needs it. So that's just my request. And thank you very much.
The resource team is still in place, I just know the resource team structure is still there, there's just no volunteers.
Thank you, that's the proper word. Don't get rid of the resource team structure, please. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Richard.
Hi, I'm Aaron Shoming. We live off of Crosby Road. The last 2 years, I don't think it's going to be a problem this year, but the last 2 years, it's wiped out our road. One time it was wiped out for 2 or 3 days. Anyway, what they do is they come in and they put gravel in and they build it up a little bit, but they haven't given any more culverts. And so I'm assuming the next time it goes out, they'll do the same thing, bring in more gravel, build it up more. I really feel like, before this happens again, we ought to consider putting a culvert right where that washes out, just to relieve that pressure. So just, I'm no road person, but, my impression. So, anyway.
I've already looked at that.
What's that?
I've already looked at that, and it does need relief culverts.
Good, okay, thank you.
Where's Walker Road at?
Pardon me?
Is that up in your district?
Yes.
Just south of Satellite.
Just off of,
Well, Crosby is the one where you see mailboxes
okay.
next to the freeway.
Yeah, it does need relief culverts.
Benewah County's been trying to catch up on culverts the last few years. About 20-some a year, I think we put in.
Yeah. And way behind.
I guess I'll pop in for just a second.
Okay.
I haven't met Commissioner Short yet. I'm Gail, I'm an extension educator, so I work downstairs. I did hear Rochelle's comment about the farm to table movement, and I do have some projects going for that. So come down and see me, Rochelle, and we'll get
All right.
caught up. Maybe I can add more to what I'm
Yeah,
already doing.
you were next on my list.
Okay, good. This was the report that I gave to the commissioners at the last meeting. I wasn't sure we got copies, so I brought you one. And then here, I don't know if you want me to give this to Dee Dee, it's the university signature on our budget. So I'll give that to Dee Dee for record keeping. And then I was able to follow up with a bunch of the quotes and stuff we talked about last time of what it would take to relocate the office up to the Ludi building. So here's what I've been able to find so far. And I didn't get on formally on the agenda because I didn't get the last quote until like 4:30 on Friday night. So you can see there's some varying expenses, but really the minimum to get us moved up there is about $415. And that's to turn the phone on and get the internet running. And the phone, we did have them quote us to put extra jacks in, phone jacks in, but it looks like there's one in every room, so I don't think we'll need that, so I didn't include that in the quote.
Where are you trying to move to?
Ludi building,
Okay.
Yeah,
mill site, upper mill site.
upstairs. her to see what it would cost to turn the internet on and get the routers and everything up there. Our IT people at University of Idaho will set everything up once internet's in there. They'll move our equipment and things like that for us, but we have to get the infrastructure on first. They said it's $80 a month for the internet, but I don't know how that works with the DMV and how the other ones over in the federal building, if that's still part of this service here. I don't know if that would be an additional cost or if that would be part of the agreement you guys already have with them for internet service.
I'm not sure how that would work either, because
Yeah.
right now, like you said, over at DP, it is part of our,
Service contract already, yeah, so I would hope that that's what they would be able to do up there, but I did find out how much it would cost just in case that is not an option. And then I handed Dee Dee my copy, so I'm trying to get my memory. It would be, I was just curious because the building's been empty for so long about having the carpets cleaned. As you can see, that was an considerable expense, so we'll figure that out ourselves. We won't, unless you guys really want to pay the $600 and something for a company to come in and clean it. That was just yes, I've been in it a couple times with Brent's and some of the other contractors. It's not bad, it's just because it's been empty for so long.
There's no furniture or anything in there right now.
No,
So,
and that's one of the things I put on the bottom. It would be, I don't know what it would cost to have help moving the desks and all of that from the basement up to that.
Is the whole thing carpeted then?
Everything but the kitchen, break area and the bathrooms and one office in the back.
If you do that, you call my shop and the shop crew can help you move
Move all that stuff, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of it, the girls and I can do, but like the desks, wiggling them through doors and the copy machine, and I think Rico might come and move the copy machine as part of our service contract with them, but I need to explore that
I
option
can
too.
grab a flatbed one time and come up, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And then there's when you first walk in, it was kind of the reception area, when Panhandle Health was in there, and it's got glass windows and framework on it and stuff, and I would like to see what it would cost to pull that out, or have somebody come and take that out, at least the glass pieces out of it, just so it's a little more inviting. We don't have HIPAA privacy and things like that, we need to have all the glass protection in there, so that's that. And the first wall, it would be nice if eventually we pulled that or cut it open or something, so that's where our resource library could be at, so it's open to clients to come in and out of it. But again, that's another thing that it doesn't have to happen. If we can get it done, that's great. If we don't, we'll make it work. And we do have to have Brinks come and do that receptacle for the copier, because it has to have a specific plug, and they said it'd be $130 or something like that, so 75, I guess, 175, so not too bad.
20
So-
or 30 ounce.
so my thought is the big cost having an office up there is the monthly utilities are gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, because right now, you're just part of the
Right.
courthouse. So the courthouse isn't gonna go down by the amount that it's probably gonna cost us to have that building heated and, I don't know, with all the propane. And then, of course, the other issue was janitor services.
Right, which I put on there that I didn't know what that cost would be. We would be willing to do the daily cleaning if we could have, and taking garbage out every night, that's not too hard, we can handle that. If that would be a cost benefit to have us do that daily, and then if somebody could come in weekly or monthly to do a deeper cleaning. But I don't know what your service agreement is with janitorial services, if that's even an option, so.
I don't know that it is, because right now we're with the hospital, and I don't know that they'd be willing to take on any more from us, so,
Find out.
yeah. And again, the last time we had someone in that building, they paid the utilities themselves, so I have no idea what the utilities are when it's occupied.
Okay.
The university would provide signage, that's their part of the agreement to extension offices in the counties. The couple times that we've gone up there Mondays, because the senior meals are meeting, it doesn't seem like the parking lot is too bad, but the rest of the week, the parking lot is kind of full, so that would probably be a signage issue that the university wouldn't necessarily do, is at least 2 or 3 spots that are labeled to be for extension clients, just so that they can get into the building and they don't have to walk from, you know, the hospital parking lot or something like that up there. I noticed there's one sign that's labeled for the sheriff's office for a canine unit, but, which is fine, it doesn't bother us, but we can park in any of the county parking lots, but I would hate to have clients have to walk that
But,
far every time.
People parking there just to go to work a little bit.
I assume it's hospital employees, but that's the total assumption, I have absolutely no idea.
This meal site's not being used during those days.
Right, and that's, I think they stay out of it on meal site days, but when there's not meal site days, they use it, so. Because it's been empty, there's no reason they couldn't use it, but if we were,
It just makes sense to use it.
Yeah.
right, but if we were there, I'd want at least a couple spaces for clientele, so.
Okay.
That's all I've come up with so far. If you have other questions, or I need to explore other options, or whatever, just in a DD, let me know, and I'm happy to do that, so.
So do that.
Could you get us a cost of maybe removing that wall we're talking about?
Yeah, I just didn't get a chance to even locate a contractor to go in and look
Well,
at
if
it.
you have to take the glass out right away versus doing a post to do it.
Okay,
It'd be so much easier.
yes, if there wasn't a bunch of stuff to have to move around it, yes, I agree.
Well, yeah, living in a construction site isn't right.
It's a little frustrating, yes. Yeah, so, yeah, I will continue this week to work on finding somebody that can go up and do a couple quotes, maybe a couple guys to go do some quotes on that, so we can get an idea.
You wouldn't want me in there with a sawzall like that.
Well, when Brent's was there, they did see that there's a light switch on one wall and some plugins on the other, so there's definitely electric running through it. So that will probably make it a little bit of an added I don't know where the stuff was on the wall, which side it was on, but they did note that.
Okay.
Do you think it'd be a good fit for you up there?
I do, the biggest thing, besides having more space, like for the master gardeners to actually be able to do their work and us not trip over them every 5 seconds. I have no privacy for dealing with volunteer issues or program management issues. I have to take private phone calls in my vehicle, sitting out on the sidewalk, you know, when I'm dealing with volunteers that need to be excused from the program, or volunteers having a problem with something in the program. You know, if we have staff issues, there's no really where that I can pull the staff aside to have private conversations, so that would be a big benefit to being up there, because there's actually offices with doors that can be closed.
ADA access.
ADA access, which we always get dinged on for as many years as I've known Benewah County Extension existed. We have when we do our federal civil rights reviews, which for the university we have to do them every 3 years, and last fall we went through a federal USDA review, and that was the #1 complaint they always have is the ADA access to our office. It's ADA compliant up there with the ramp and the wider bathroom doors. And all the door latches and the push buttons and all that are there, so we would finally be in compliance with them. Okay, I'll work on a construction quote for the class and the walls.
Okay.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Commissioner, just a point of procedure that this should probably be put on the agenda for the 11th of February, because no decisions have been made.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll make sure I have that before then.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. You're on.
Okay.
Is that the same as we
Same
got?
one.
I don't know.
Yeah, this thing.
Oh, you do have one?
Yeah, we got it.
Gentlemen, I'm here today to present some ideas and information that you might consider while making necessary decisions during the development of a facility that will be less of a burden up there to us all. Number one here I've got is educate the public. We could build a website. We could let them know where the transfer station is and what we do. When people come in with loads of garbage all mixed in together during busy times, it has to be done quickly to allow others to unload. This causes recyclables to be loaded into trailers and shipped to Montana. We can let them know how to help keep operating costs down by separating their items before they come and unload, and before they come to unload, and by not putting wood or metal in the dumpsters or items on the ground. Instead, bring it to the transfer station, along with aluminum cans, car batteries, and tires with wheels for recycling. Also remove all plastic container caps for safety and processing. Number two, we could improve communication. We could install internet connection for email. This would allow us to share information with each other in a timely manner and give us the opportunity to work together. Also keeping records and sharing activities of what's going on. For instance, how many loads of waste and what type. Garbage trucks, roll-offs, contractors, tribal housing, and trailers. This information would be very helpful in making future decisions. Locks for number three here, they need to be changed, with keys provided to the Sheriff's Department, Fire Department, and authorized personnel. Many people have or have access to a cat key to open the main gate. On several occasions, I have arrived at work to find the gate wide open and garbage dumped outside the transfer station. The overhead doors to the transfer station have been left open and unattended. The office doors have been unlocked, and many times, almost every month, items are replaced in the first aid cabinet. Other items that have been removed are fuel from the fuel tank, metal from the metal pile, and tools from the repair shop. The transfer station is open 6 days a week. Garbage truck drivers work 5 days a week, and between them they dump their loads in the transfer station 7 days a week. Garbage has been dumped all over the floor, out the door, and even down over the trailer loading area, to the floor down below, creating extra work for the loader and operator. Once while pushing up several loads of garbage that have been dumped all over the floor, I ran over a blender blade that required the tire to be removed and sent in to be sectioned. This type of activity greatly increases the opportunity for flat tires, downtime, and Les Schwab who charges $105 an hour for repairs. One time, I had installed an outside overhead door control button so the garbage truck drivers did not have to walk around the building to gain access. I arrived one day and discovered the button had been rewired, so I removed it, and the county had to provide portable control units to all the drivers so that they did not have to get out of their trucks to gain access when the transfer station was closed. If we limit the access and allow people to enter during operating hours only, this would help eliminate undesirable activity and save the county money throughout the year. It is also important that we recognize the liability to the county if someone gets hurt on the premises with open access. Number 4 is routes. During the spring, winter, and fall seasons, we ship approximately 120 trailer loads of wet garbage to Montana every year. Almost 1/3 of that weight is water. Here, if you take a look at the pictures that I handed you there, you'll see in the first picture, the picture of me standing in the front end of the trailer. That trailer is loaded with garbage. The height of that garbage is approximately 6 feet below the top of the trailer. As you look at the second picture, that's a picture taken from the front of the same trailer looking towards the back of it, or the end of it. That garbage all along inside that trailer is approximately 3 to 4 feet down from the top. In the summertime, when the garbage is dry, they're clear full, trailers are. But this particular trailer here, I loaded it about 3 weeks ago, and I shipped it just like this to Montana, and it was about 1,000 pounds overweight. So that's how much we're losing there in volume because of the water. If we build shed roofs over the dumpsters, we would eliminate wet garbage and save approximately $30,000 to $40,000 every year. This would also help prevent wet garbage from freezing in the trailers and downtime trying to unload in Montana. Number 5 is cameras for security at the dumpster sites and the transfer station to help protect county property and control unacceptable behavior. During busy times, I have watched people look around as they unload. If they don't see me looking at them, they will unload everything where they are and try to cover up items that don't belong there. So I spend most of my time following people around and cleaning up or separating the items they leave behind. After closing time, I often shut the main gate and then go back to work to finish my daily duties. With proof of some people's behavior, we could share persuasive communication with them to help eliminate extra operating expenses. Number 6 is scales. People are coming from other areas and even out of state to dump their items here because it's free. I was told by a worker one time that his boss saves $300 to $400 every time he brings his load here instead of taking it to Coeur d'Alene. We need to weigh vehicles and charge for roll-offs, contractors, tribal housing, boats, trailers, roofing, flooring, carpet, furniture, car parts, tires, rocks, concrete, dirt, metal, wood, grass, leaves, and other non-household items. I know we pay for the privilege of getting rid of our garbage with our taxes. However, more and more people are abusing this privilege, and we, the people of Benewah County, are paying for it. With scales, I believe we could actually lower our taxes, create more operating capital, and make it equal for all. Number 7, the tire machine. We need to replace the tire machine that was removed from the transfer station. Then we can separate tires from wheels again for proper disposal and receive a return for added scrap metal. Also eliminate one trailer load of garbage in Montana and save approximately $1,500 every year. Number 8 is tools. If we provide a portable welding machine, a cutting torch, air compressor, and hand tools, we could eliminate hiring outside help for minor repairs. Number 9, we could add a helper. With a helper, we could sort out recyclable materials like metal and wood brought in by garbage trucks, trailers, contractors, roll-offs, dump trucks, and pickups. In addition, just by sorting out aluminum cans alone, we could save one trailer load of garbage going to Montana every year. Plus, taking aluminum cans and aluminum wheels to the recycle center for a return could bring in as much as $3,000 to $4,000 and create a possible earnings of $5,000 every year. A helper could serve as a spotter and direct the public where to unload and help them if needed. He could drive to the dumpster sites with a pickup equipped with a lift tailgate when needed and collect refrigerators, washers and dryers, air conditioners, microwave ovens, cook stoves, wood stoves, dishwashers, cast iron bathtubs, cast iron sinks, and other items, then dispose them properly for recycling. This would prevent the extra charge to the county when garbage trucks collect the heavy items and crush them into the garbage. Also, we could save the cost of hauling and dumping those items in Montana and losing the return on scrap metal. A helper could perform maintenance on the transfer station and equipment. He could help the truck driver with truck and trailer repairs. He could also take extra trailer loads of garbage to Montana. He could sort out tires from the garbage and operate the tire machine, and repair items if possible, and offer back to the public for donations to the county. Many times I've been asked for an item that someone needed it, and they were more than happy to trade a bag or two of cat food for it. Whenever the electricity goes out, we lose our water supply to the transfer station. The helper could prime the water system during work hours and save approximately 1.5 hours of overtime pay every time. Next, loads of garbage need to be sorted quickly for proper disposal. When they come here, they just want to dump their stuff and leave. They don't want to sort anything. If you take a look at the last picture that I handed you, you'll see there a gentleman just came in here last week, and I asked him what he had in a closed trailer. He said, I have just a little bit of garbage and there's a couple of small stub walls. And I said, do they have wood in it? He said, yes. I said, the wood has to go out to the wood pile and the rest of the garbage can be dumped here in the garbage. And he said, okay, no problem. I jumped in the loader, I took off outside to do some more chores there, And when I came back, this picture here shows what he delivered me. 4 or 5 pieces of stud wall about 8 feet long and some wood cabinets. So there was extra road for me to run back out there to the wood pile with those items. So roll-offs, dump trailers, and dump trucks are a big problem. With a helper, we could use an outside area to sort the big loads because sometimes there's not enough room in the transfer station. And that stuff ultimately ends up getting shipped to Montana. Next, Steve, the truck driver, and I need someone who's available to cover for us when we go on vacation or need time off. Also, having a helper around would be good for safety. The problem with having a person that comes in just once in a while who's not used to working there is they have a tendency to get into trouble like with the loader and jam it through the wall. And as you can see up there, if you ever come up there, there's a part of the wall has been pushed outward where the loader has actually ran into it. They're not used to working up there and the procedures that we do. But having a helper around that is there all the time probably would eliminate those problems. Next, number 10 here is maintain the road. Vehicles traveling at a high rate of speed during the dry season create very dusty conditions that are unhealthy to work in, not only for me but the public too, and causes air filters in the transfer station and equipment to be changed more often. We're also losing all of our road surface material over the bank. We need county crew to maintain the road with dust control, gravel and grading in the summer, and plowing and sanding in the winter. Next, a covered parking area for the trucks and trailers. This would create a place to make repairs and provide the truck driver an area to grease and change oil instead of driving to the Santa shop to perform maintenance. Also, a covered area to park under would prevent snow and rainwater from building up on the tarps, causing overweight loads, floors, and garbage to freeze up inside the trailers, and the tarps tearing because of extra weight on top of them. Next, we can fill the loader tires with foam to prevent flat tires and the cost of repairing or replacing them. As the tires wear, they are more acceptable to flaps, cuts, nails, and other damage. Now that we have the wood pile, the opportunity for flat tires has greatly increased. Next is transfer station. To help prevent downtime and eliminate repairs, the floor drains need cleaning, overhead doors need maintenance, and cleanup around the area demands a lot of attention. Next, we could just plan ahead, schedule and replace equipment as needed to keep operations running smoothly and safely. At this time, we need 2 drivers, 3 trucks, and 4 trailers that can safely and legally haul garbage to Montana. We also need to create an operating procedures manual outlining what to do, when to do it, and who to call for help, parts, repairs, or emergencies. This is a perfect time to consider these suggestions as I'm thinking about semi-retiring in the next few months. I would like to bring someone in to train and teach them my daily activities. And also, I would like to continue to work with that person to help create a transfer station that will be cost-effective and economical to operate for the people of Benewah County. So I'll answer any questions you might have, and thank you for your time.
So it said, so you need 3 trucks and 4 trailers. How many do you have right now?
We've got 2 trucks that are operable right now. One is out at the Santa shop. It's one they don't like to use because it's not very powerful. It's been a big pain to them.
We got two here,
Yes.
not one at the Santa shop, you got 2 here.
Okay.
And trailers?
In trailers, we have 3
3.
that we're using as. During the winter months, we get by fine with that. But when it starts summer and we get more of the load up there, and the reason for the 4 trailers is we have room to get the garbage out of the inside of the transfer station, put it in a trailer and park it outside, get it out of the way until it's home.
How often does your water system go down?
That just all depends.
It depends on when the power goes out, right?
Yeah, whenever the power goes out up there, we have different people, or several people below us that are on the same system, and they drain the holding tanks, and then our system up there collects an air bubble in the pump. I've got it down to an hour and a half to prime it. The guy that actually installed the pump, the last time he was there, it took him 3 hours.
there's some place we put a backflow valve in there to keep that from happening.
We've got a triple bypass or triple check valve installed in the system, in between the pump and the cistern tanks, and that's where our big problem is, right there. There's also a meter installed above that, in between the tank. Once those check valves get an air bubble in them, then it takes a long time to get them primed.
When do you plan on retiring?
September.
September?
Yes.
You check to see what it costs to put foam in the tires?
Yes, it costs anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a tire. If we had a spare rim, Les Schwab could put a tire on it. It has to be a new tire as well too. The foam is at $1,200 to $1,500, and it'd be plus the cost of the tire. But if we had a rim, we could do one tire at a time, and there wouldn't be any downtime up there with the water.
What happened to your tire changer you had? Walk
I
off?
was off work for time, and when I came back, it was gone.
Tire chain,
Pardon me?
tire chain?
The
Tire
tire machine.
changer.
Oh,
Les Schwab, when they got their new building, they brought one up to me, and I asked them if I could have it for the transfer station, they gave it to me. And when I came back, it was gone. It was in the shop, so somebody had
Now you
a
got
key.
one key for every building or something?
There's one key that operates the whole building up there, and a cat key operates the main gate.
so is it the garbage truck guys that's in there, that's doing that?
I haven't seen them, they are the ones
Who's
opening.
doing all this stuff when you're telling us this is all happening? Who's doing this?
Part of it has been garbage truck drivers, I know that, as far as rewiring a button that I'd installed.
But I mean, like you, they wouldn't, average citizen wouldn't have a key to the building. They'd have a cat key possibly, but as far as the building's concerned, they wouldn't have any keys to that.
You're not supposed to, but I know that keys have been made and other people have them.
So who has the keys?
Um,
The garbage truck drivers, right?
Garbage truck drivers have them, yes. And some of those guys have been changed now. They're not the same drivers that it used to be. So I'm assuming that the old drivers still have keys.
It wouldn't take long to change the locks.
No, it wouldn't take long to change it.
Yeah. And then as far as the cat key, we'd change the lock at the main gate too, just to.
Very disheartening to me when I go up there and see them doors open and unlocked. Somebody had taken a knife, I seen,
So why wouldn't you, how long has this been going on?
it's been going on since the beginning, since the building has been there.
So how many times do you talk to me about stuff? Why wouldn't you say something about that?
I've talked to Bud a few times about it.
Have I ever turned you down
No,
on
sir,
anything
you
you
have
wanted done up there?
No, you have not. You've been super helpful with me. I've been told not to bother you because you're so busy, but I have bothered you, or called you.
You need to tell me, or either one of these guys, when you got a problem, you need to tell us. With a contractor going up there, or anybody else. And I'm one of the guys that goes up there and lets them guys out when they're left up there. And it hasn't been as pleasant for them as they'd like when I go up there and let them out. The sheriff's office can verify that I go up and let them out. But you need to tell us, you need to tell me and these guys, both of us.
Okay, yes, sir.
I appreciate your call the other day about that guy wanting all 3,000 yards.
Right.
That's what I was hoping with. Maybe we could install the internet, email up there where I could contact all three of you. If one of you is gone, the other could take over.
Well, the best way to call me is cell phone.
You can get
I do have
three of us
internet.
90%, 95% of the time.
Well, you got three chances to get one of us.
Many times before when I called Bud, he would tell me that he would take care of it, so I let it go with that. But if it's okay, I'll call you first. If I can't get hold of you, then I'll get Tim to call either one of you two, if that's all right, to do it that way.
100%, that's
Okay.
not,
I think we need to make a list here right away of things to get taken care of right away, like some key locks changed.
we're struggling with the garbage truck guys right now, so you gotta understand that
I do,
we've gotta get through that,
I understand that.
so, you know,
I'll work with you any way I
Okay.
can, and
all right,
no
Dick,
problem
we'll
there, so,
pick up the phone and call us.
okay,
Okay,
I'll do it.
all right, thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
I really appreciate you bringing this in.
Yep.
I still haven't heard back from that guy, so,
No, I called up the message myself.
yeah.
Probably just an out-of-stater, or out of the county when you bring
That's
stuff.
not really bizarre to me.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Assessor?
She's not here today, but she did want me to present, so she just was able to formalize and write up the cancellation you guys did for Tom Fortson at
Okay.
the last meeting on his airplane.
Yeah,
So if you guys are still okay with that decision, here was the formal cancellation.
okay,
And I do believe that's all she had.
okay. Treasurer?
Let me give her a call. Hi, it's Dee Dee. Is Sarah in? Did she have anything to report? Perfect, thank you. Bye. She'll be over in just a minute. I also had, Michelle in my office bring this in, it is a $0.10 grant that the juvenile office is going for. Looks like it's $1,400 or $1,500 for a new PC. Can we add it to the agenda?
Well, motions to amend the agenda to add an item would take place at the beginning of the meeting.
She just brought it to me.
When you say it's time sensitive, I think the commissioners need to know how sensitive it is. To see if it needs to be approved prior to their next meeting.
I don't see a deadline date on here. Although it's dated from the JDC as of January 25th, 2019. So I can certainly tell them it'll have to wait till next time.
I think the question is, what's the deadline for the grant?
It's not on here.
The grant was from who?
It's,
For who?
it's for the juvenile probation department and the
Make a
grant.
motion to change the agenda. Just do it.
I move we change, we amend the agenda to include the juvenile grant necessary.
Any more discussion, all in favor, say aye.
It should roughly be those, but we're not trying to hide it, we're just trying to make sure we're,
Yeah, because we might fall through the cracks.
yeah.
Okay, so that being said, it is, like I said, a grant for $1,500 to buy a Dell Optiplex 3060, which is a computer for the juvenile probation department. Okay. And
Motion to, approve the grant. I move we approve the grant.
so it looks like it's just Jack's signature that's needed. Well, Jackson.
Yeah, we just, we need a second. All in favor? say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand.
Yes.
Sorry, Bob, I'm trying to get rid of cold, I'm trying to talk about it.
Okay.
We must have got the same one. I'm trying to get over it too.
So who gave it to us?
I don't know.
Shoot that, I would
You're on, Sarah.
I have the drainage district 3 charges that need to be sent back to them because I'm unable to collect them. It's the piece of property that the tribe has. So I just have to take it off the tax rolls and send it back because those are my third-year delinquencies.
just one from that spot.
Yep, just one. It's 3. I put all 3 parcels in the total right there. That's what the penalty is, in interest and that cost, which it's really not. This is the base amount, and that's what I'll be sending back to them. And it isn't any property taxes, it's just that fee. And then here is your copy of the financials for January. We're still working on balancing January's. And then I had, on one of the accounts, I wanted to make sure that you guys knew where the hospital stood, so I printed everything out so you guys would have exact amounts. Thank you. Do you want a copy since it's just one, or you want me to get it in your box?
It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. And if you have questions, let me know. And I think we're at about 30 parcels for my third-year delinquencies that I'll be sending down to the title company.
Okay,
And that's it.
thank you. Well, we're in the session. Special services and the other part.